I accidentally learned from my wife's friend that she cheated on me for 20 years. I ended our marriage. I'm 43 and my wife is 44. We've been married 20 years. I fell in love with you in high school. She was senior. I was junior. While she was in her first 2 years of college, and I finished high school and a year at community college, we dated remotely. After college in the same city, we've lived and made our lives together. We married the summer after I graduated college, and it's been amazing. But I only started the divorce procedure after discovering she was seeing other males throughout those 2 years of long distance. After Christmas, we met my wife's college buddies. One pleasant evening, we laughed and told stories about the good old days over dinner. My wife casually said we met in high school throughout the conversation. She merely stated we knew each other from high school, not that we dated. Someone from her college days told her how great it was that we met so young, had such a crazy time, and ended up together. I giggled and wondered if my wife was as insane as I was. His roommate began to relate a story. My wife abruptly stopped her, claiming she wasn't comfortable. I was dubious of her rapid response. I clarified that we dated in high school and were together throughout her college career. A weird hush at the table made for a nervous night. Her other friend took me aside as we left and told me to tell my wife the truth about her college years. Driving home from supper, I couldn't shake a horrible sensation. So I asked my wife what her buddy said. She said it wasn't a big deal, making me feel horrible. Though I told her honesty was crucial, she insisted it wasn't. I became more suspicious of her disinterest. I decided to stand firm at home. I promised her I would live with my brother until she was ready to talk about what occurred in college. She arrived upset the next day. She finally admitted to sleeping with numerous guys in her first 2 years of college. She said it wasn't a big deal because we were dating across the nation, and she didn't think our high school passion would endure. I was hit hard by this truth. Asking for more information made me angry and hurt. It was at least 10 men, including 3 I met when I visited on weekends and one she still kept in touch with. Hearing this made me angry, sad, and deceived. I knew this would hurt our marriage. I informed her that I was ready for a divorce and would begin legal proceedings immediately. I started the procedure on January 2nd as promised. Her attempts to downplay what she did and dismiss my feelings strengthened my choice. That wasn't everything wrong. For decades, people lied and mistreated each other. Most of my and her family say I shouldn't divorce for a few faults. Due to our lengthy history and occasional mistakes, these individuals constantly encouraging me to forgive her. I don't think this is just a few blunders. That person acted a specific manner for years. 2 years of cheating on me with several guys is still fresh in my mind. Regardless of timing, this attitude is intolerable because she dated these guys in front of me and introduced them as friends. Both of our kids are 17 and 19, therefore considered adults. I think they'll understand my divorce reasoning. They see us as a loving couple, and I hope they understand my decision to safeguard my honor and self-respect. So many people are telling me to forget years of cheating and lying. I worry I'm going insane. Everywhere I look, people beg me to forgive and forget to save what we've built. They say I'm too tough and should remember the good times in our life together. How can I? Knowing she betrayed me ruins every memory. It's not just cheating they dislike, it's lying. A falsehood. Maintain friendships with her cheaters. What makes me trust her again? How can I still like her after what she did? She ignored my feelings when I told her about them. I sometimes wonder if I'm too tough or overreacting. I recall being devastated when she told me about her affairs. Pain and rage raced through me. I remember those nights wondering how she could connect me with those guys. How she could maintain those friendships without guilt. I can't get over it. Our marriage ended due to a significant trust issue. Should I stay or leave? I disagree. I feel like I must defend my honor. Keep me from being lied to avoid grave mistreatment. No need to avenge or blame. You can't go back after you cross some lines. Some of my wife's friends say it's okay to sleep with others in a long-distance relationship. They think I'm the sole non-doer. I wanted a fresh perspective since I suspected someone was scheming. Our state's divorce process takes time, so I wanted to obtain some advice before committing. Only a few agreed with these remarks. They say long-distance couples sleep around normally. During our 2 college years, we saw each other many times a month. I lived 3 hours from her college. Despite its distance, it wasn't like the country was between us. We met every couple months. She met 3 guys at parties in college. These were casual party gatherings without introductions. We never mentioned I was her boyfriend, so I don't think they realized we were dating. We still see one of these guys because he married our college acquaintance. She hasn't been secretly texting him. Our relationship with them spans years. After discovering my wife was cheating, I spoke to him several times to hear his perspective. He informed me he didn't realize we were dating then. In respect for me, he blocked my wife on social media. Some have asked how her college roommates didn't predict our wedding's length. How we celebrated our wedding is the answer. Only close family attended my wife and my Texas wedding. We returned to the East Coast and partied with our buddies. We missed wedding parties where couples discuss how they met and got together. Therefore, her friends never knew we started dating before college. They believe we started dating during the year we lived in the same city and moved in together. They never questioned the time or suspected cheating because they didn't understand. I would try treatment or something else to save the marriage. I believe we can overcome this with effort. However, her insistence that she'd done nothing wrong and that I'm too sensitive has overwhelmed me. She constantly telling me that sleeping with others is natural and that I'm silly while we're apart. Only when I started the divorce papers did she apologize or promise to make things right. That regret was brief. She's returned to her former posture in the last week, suggesting I'm overdoing. All this back and forth makes me feel gaslighted. Her actions were clearly deceptive. My wife and others say it's normal and I'm overreacting. My confusion and frustration are compounded by her disinterest. I tried telling her how much her infidelity upset me. I assumed she would grasp how important the matter was, yet she downplays my feelings as a response to something insignificant. She expects me to blindly follow her relationship rules if she changes them. It drives me nuts that my feelings are ignored. I think someone wants me to mistrust my feelings and thoughts. She doesn't take responsibility and attempts to make cheating appear normal, which is hurting our relationship. She cheats on me and doesn't understand why it's so important to me. Now is the time to take care of myself mentally and emotionally. I can't stay in a marriage that ignores my feelings and breaks trust. I don't know how to proceed with her because she doesn't seem sorry and keeps stating I'm wrong. I'm not overdramatic. I'm defending my right to a healthy, honest relationship. I won't get a DNA test unless my kids ask. Though a test may prove otherwise, I don't worry about their biological link. My opinion of them wouldn't change. Despite my wife's infidelity, my kids are everything to me. I've raised them for 19 years. They'll always be my kids until I die. Back then, we were just dating. First marriage was quite different 20 years ago. Being exclusive was common for most. People didn't consider open relationships or casual dates like they do now. People realized they were alone with someone. Second, we had a long, painful conversation about how to maintain our relationship while she was in college before she went. It wasn't fun, but she wanted to stay together. She even mocked her dad's threat to confront me if I slept with other females at school. That joke was significant, showing her commitment to our union. My senior prom incident was another indicator. She was too busy with college to go, and she was furious when I suggested she go with a female friend. She exhibited her concern for our relationship and made it plain. We were the only ones in it. I skipped prom to spend the night with her to avoid hurting her. All of these things plus our relationship before she left to college made us sure we'd be together forever. Our actions and words showed we expected each other to be faithful. I contacted the friend who advised me to be honest with my wife. She stated 10 males was the low end, and that those years had at least one baby scare. It was unknown to me. My priority isn't the number of guys. Most importantly, my wife doesn't comprehend why she did wrong or why I feel betrayed. She hasn't showed any motivation to solve this, which would dramatically improve it. She laughed at my feelings and said I was exaggerating into regular behavior whenever we talked. She didn't apologize or care about my misery before I filed for divorce. Then she grew protective and angry. Even then, it was evident she cared more about what would happen than how I felt. There was no regret. Before I started the documents and told her I had a lawyer, she didn't offer to rectify matters or work through this. It wasn't about reconciliation. The goal was to minimize injury. This answer reinforced my belief that she doesn't realize her dishonesty is terrible. It goes beyond cheating, but about how she ignores my feelings in our marriage. I divorced her because she was nasty, especially over something crucial. I think we can parent together. Our kids are older, and I've saved for years for college and other fees after high school, so money and custody shouldn't be an issue. Both of us have solid incomes and no debt. I'll go to treatment if she does. But right now, we value learning how to be excellent co-parents and moving on over saving our marriage. To move on after the breakup, I took actions. I hired a lawyer to write it and send it to her by certified mail to separate documents. Note that this is not a state-filed divorce. This is merely the first step to ensure she has time to find a lawyer to defend it. The divorce should take months. Not totally moved out yet. While looking for a secure home, I've been residing with my brother. Dinner with her friends was on the 26th. I took her to my brother's place that night to relax and contemplate. We spoke multiple times over the next 4 or 5 days, and she didn't think she did anything wrong. If she had showed regret, remorse, or compassion for me, I might have reconsidered and waited. She was unpleasant, so I had no choice. I finally found a divorce lawyer, and we filled up and mailed out the intent to separate documents the same day. We're not divorced, and I'm not sure if my state has a separation term. Still, I've stated that this process will proceed and started the necessary measures. Change 1. Check out what I learned about her college years. I learned via my wife's counseling sessions and 2 of her old roommates that they thought she was weird in college. They thought something was wrong and perhaps cheating. My wife told them we had some wild moments in college but straightened things out before we were married, so they never mentioned it. Our roommate dragged me away from dinner because she didn't like how my wife hadn't told me and believed I should know. Some of her dates with men weren't arranged. One of her sex partners married one of our college friends. She maintained in touch with him. My wife initially blamed me for putting her in such situations during our counseling sessions. She now realizes her mistake. She always wanted us to stay in her room or hang out alone when I visited her in college. I wanted college parties because I hadn't been to any in high school or community college. She thought I wouldn't meet the males she was meeting, but they were usually at these events, so she couldn't avoid it. It's still disrespectful, but it's better than putting me in front of them. The issue is confusing because of so many lies and omissions. My wife kept this act up for years while her friends recognized something was amiss but did nothing. Most of our therapy sessions have focused on why I think her adultery is a significant betrayal and she doesn't. She initially claimed that none of these guys were dating her. Most were one-night hookups or friends with benefits. She said it didn't matter because they weren't romantic. Whatever relationships were going on didn't matter to me. We never condoned that behavior. She deliberately discouraged me from doing so. I felt misled by the evidence standards gap. My wife changed her mind. After 2 therapy sessions and talking to friends about this issue, she now confesses that her actions damaged our relationship and trust. Since we understand the situation better, we can discuss it more openly, from heated debates to productive ones. Our improving relationship offers me optimism for our co-parenting future. Even though it seems impossible to save our marriage, being honest about our past can help us become closer. This helps our kids' health and co-parenting through stressful times. This is why I'll divorce no matter what. 2 major circumstances convinced me to end the marriage. First, we went through a hard stretch 10 years ago and didn't see each other for about 2 years. She complained our physical relationship was uninteresting. I attempted to spice it up. It was only light role play and novelty shop items. I believed she was interested in something personal from college, but she was interested in topics she won't discuss. She wanted me to bring those memories back, but when I did, she felt uneasy and terrible since they reminded her of other guys. I know these incidents mattered more than she admits because they still affect our marriage. Second, she admitted flirting with coworkers on business travel since the pandemic ended. She went on a date with a male coworker, although saying nothing physical happened. It made the difference for me. I lost trust after these revelations. Even if she denied it, the initial problem showed me that past events still affected us. The second difficulty revealed she was willing to break the rules again after everything we went through. These 2 things made me doubt we could save our marriage. Our kids know we're divorcing. We explained that our college mistakes still haunt us. My college-age daughter questioned me if I cheated on my wife while she was abroad. My wife was surprised by this inquiry, but she told our kids she cheated. We both agree not to tell the kids more. We must keep them out of our hardest times. I assured them that we will support them even though we are no longer together. Let me clarify that. We are in treatment to handle the breakup well for our family. I also assured the kids that I would be available if they needed to talk to us or a doctor. I want children to feel comfortable talking about their feelings and asking for support. We care about their mental health, and they should know that. Every member of our family is working hard to get through this difficult period. A mediator has been hired to help us decide how to share. It appears we can say farewell without a struggle until anything changes. Our money are safe, we have no large bills, and custody isn't a problem since our kids are older. These past few months have been challenging, but I'm making it. I appreciate the response to my recent post. It helped me comprehend my feelings and inspired me to see my wife in therapy. Fair enough, my 19-year-old daughter has had some bad luck. She suffered when her boyfriends cheated or left her. Because she's dated untrustworthy males, she may have felt I cheated on her. Even worse, she thinks I did it because I left the house. Her dad leaving the house could have meant he admitted he did something wrong. Perhaps her life experiences have affected her perspective, making it simpler for her to blame me. When cheating was mentioned, my wife admitted to it. Honestly, this story doesn't bother me. I don't think my wife has criticized me to our kids. After 6 weeks and 3 counseling sessions, she asked for a joint, friendly divorce after admitting to flirting and infidelity. She appeared more ready to move on than I. Her readiness makes the divorce process easier, but it stings to realize that she is ending a 20-year marriage easier than I am. She probably wants to date again. The mediator for an equitable divorce told us we are still married until the divorce is final, and that cheating before then could jeopardize our peaceful settlement. Our divorce was due to cheating. So this comment seemed odd. I could tell my soon-to-be ex was upset when this topic came up. The fact that I'm living in the guest room may also be slowing her down. Finally, I'm trying to accept our divorce. In addition to our couples meetings, I've been in private therapy to cope. It's possible I'll see the coworker she exclusively dated again. Before the divorce, I hope to locate a new place and move out. We should divorce by summer if the arbitrator goes well. I'll have my space while she dates anyone. Everything is fixed in stone about my divorce from my wife. We divorced without any fighting. Our settlement lawyers prepared the plan, which a judge authorized a few weeks ago. In the end, divorce was straightforward. The only issue was that our 17-year-old son wanted to stay with me because things were growing worse with my ex-wife. First, my wife refused, ready to fight the uncontested divorce. She could give him a few months to get over it and start over, or she could make him remain until he turned 18 and risk never seeing him again. My wife gave in to my son's toughness, even though I thought it was too much. As planned, I will have primary physical custody until his birthday later this year. I've told my son to be open to reconciling with his mother. Even though she harmed him before his birth, she loved him for 17 years. I witnessed my son spending more time with my ex-wife during the divorce, which makes me think they may reunite. It's been hard for everyone, but I hope they can reunite soon. Finally, we shared investments and retirement cash 50/50. Wife liked the house more than I did, but she kept the house and most of the contents. She acquired a mortgage to pay me half of the property and half of the furniture's new value to make things right. Splitting up most of our other items was easy. She and I kept our cars. My music gear, her hobby gear, our clothes, and other unique items were divided. We sold anything hard to divide and split the profit. We had already included most of our valuables and devices for a house insurance rider we added a few years ago. It streamlined the process. Good things are happening for me. My main concern during the breakup was that both kids spend most of their time at my place and we are close. Thank goodness this link is still strong. My new house is great, a place to start over, to acknowledge my midlife crisis. I traded my minivan for a beautiful Lexus LC 550, which makes me happy. A coworker invited me to coffee, which is excellent. She works in a separate department than me, therefore we don't collaborate. She knew I was honest when I said I wasn't ready to date. She understood and offered to take a rain check, stating she would go out with me when I was ready. I enjoyed this unexpected offer. She's brilliant and witty, and our jobs aren't too close, so we don't feel strange together at work. Still in couples therapy, my ex-husband and I are working on ending our marriage and raising good kids together. These meetings have helped me absorb things and maintain an optimistic attitude. However, they agree that divorcing was right. From our conversations, my wife started dating as soon as the divorce began. This indicates our love was diminishing. The coworker she called a friend may have dropped her off at our last meeting. I was surprised that this didn't affect me, indicating that I was ready to divorce. My recovery from dishonesty will take time, but I'm making progress. I'm confident divorce was right. Over the past 4 months, I've shed more tears than in 20 years. For the first time in a while, I feel good about myself this month. I like being alone and busy preparing my 17-year-old daughter for college in the autumn. I'm excited to have coffee with a smart, humorous woman in a month or two. Our breakup taught me the value of honesty. Looking back, I wish we had been more honest from the start. I will apply what I learned to all my relationships, sexual or not. What matters most is that I've recovered and moved on. After much suffering, I'm feeling good about myself again.